Hi, Tyler. Welcome back to the Profit Planner podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, I'm really excited that you are on again because our first episode together was all about the Instagram live formula that makes selling easy.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, that was such a popular episode. I have gotten so many DMs about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to hear that. That was a fun episode to record. I'm so glad
Yeah.
everyone got so much out of it.
It was a really fun episode. And if you are listening right now and you're like, what episode are they thinking or what episode are they talking about? That's such a great question. Go look it up. It's Tyler's episode about the Instagram live formula. It's going to blow your mind. I'm not even kidding. That sounds really dramatic, but it's true. It's true. So go look that up because it will really transform the way you think about Instagram live and all of that awesome jazz. But moving on, we're switching it up. Tyler's not talking about Instagram today. What?
That's right. I know. It is so weird. Don't worry. It bothers you as much as it bothers me. Wait, it bothers me as much as it bothers you.
I am so excited about this because we're going to be talking about how to add recurring profit to your business. And I have seen a few of you lovely people talk about adding a membership site to your business or just creating one as your sole business model. And I'm so excited. That makes me happy because you know me, my main source of income comes from my membership and Tyler's main source of income comes from his membership. So, we have a special announcement about all of that too. I feel like, should we announce it now? I feel like we should announce it now. Like maybe you're sneak peek it.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing we need to let them know is if you want to learn more about recurring profit as a part of a business, either adding it to your business or starting a business that does that, we are creating some content that's going to help you do that, which is really exciting.
And content in the form of audio. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess?
Audio.
Are you thinking right now like microphone, audio? I'm listening to a podcast. What could it be? A podcast? What?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So the Recurring Profit podcast is going to be all about how to launch and grow a recurring profit business. And it's going to be so fun. I'm really excited about it. We're going to mix interviews with people who are running recurring profit businesses like membership sites or subscription services or software companies. And Haley and I are going to get to teach some of the strategies we're using for our own recurring profit businesses. So it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, we're going to blow people's minds through the podcast. And let me tell you, we've already recorded a few of them. And it's been great. If you have not, if you don't follow us on social media, then you probably didn't see the launch that happened last week. Because last week, we revealed it to everyone and it was huge and people are excited and we're excited. We're pumped and we're so glad we got to share it. But if you missed it, well, now's your time to jump on the recurring profit bandwagon. If you want that, if you're curious about this type of business model, you want to start a recurring profit business, a membership software, any kind of subscription based business, or you want to scale it. So if you already have a recurring profit business and you want to scale it, you want to grow it, this is for you. If you don't fall into those categories, then that's fine. Keep listening to the Profit Planner podcast because we're still friends. We're still friends.
Yes.
But we did create this specifically because I know some of you are wanting to start a membership site. And so for those of you that are wanting to start a membership site, we're going to talk about exactly how to do it step by step and what we recommend.
Okay, that's going to be so good.
Yeah.
So good.
So let's start talking about what is recurring profit.
Okay. So in this instance, we're talking about a business that has consistent, predictable, recurring revenue each month. But when we're talking about recurring profit, we're not talking about a business that is just making a lot of money to spend all of that money to keep the business running.
Yeah.
We're talking about a business that is turning a profit every single month like clockwork, which is what we've been able to do with our membership sites. And we want the same thing for you. So what is that? Yeah, so that's what I think recurring profit is.
I think you explained that. I think you explained that fantastically. And honestly, this business model, the recurring profit business model, is glorious. I'm telling you, it just clicked. Now, not with everyone. Some people find this business model to where it doesn't fit what their strengths are. That's totally fine if it doesn't. But if it does, you are going to fall in love just like I did with having a membership site. And I just love the consistency, the stability, and also just being able to serve people on a 1-to-many ratio. It's so great. And, both of us built 6-figure membership sites within 6 months or less, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're on to something here.
we got something good going on over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I love you, Haley. I love that you said if it feels like it plays to your strengths, it may be a good thing for you. Could we maybe talk? I know this is your show, but I'm going to take over hosting for a second.
Yeah, do it.
Could we talk about maybe a few of the strengths that we feel like you have to run a successful membership site?
Yeah, I think that's really good. I'm glad you took over the host hat for a little bit because I think that's a great question. So I would say for me, I love people. You have to love people because this is a membership that's dealing directly with a mass amount of people, right? Whereas with one-on-one services, you can kind of get away from that because it's one-on-one. So a lot of introverts specifically love those one-to-one high-end because they're really good at the deep connection. So, and I'm not going to say introverts are great for one-on-one and extroverts are great for, membership. I do not want to say that because that is so not true. But for me, I'm a major extrovert. So my energy levels are so high when I'm around a lot of people. So when I'm on these Zoom calls, when I'm on live video for my lounge members, my energy levels increase. They don't decrease. It doesn't drain me. So that's an important note that I want to throw out there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's such a great one, and being comfortable with that like 1-to-many model. So live streaming or teaching from a stage or leading a workshop, like if that's the type of stuff that really makes you happy, then I think it would be a great fit for you. And I think the other thing that I think of is being interested in cultivating community, being a community builder, a relationship builder, being okay with the fact that a lot of what you will do as you run a membership site and as you work on stepping into the CEO role to grow that membership site is all about how you foster a sense of community and connection amongst your members, which is so important. So if that's not important to you or not something that you've ever really cared about, then it may not be a great fit for where you are in your business.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that it's not a great fit for everyone, and that is okay. Like courses for me, those big high-end courses or big high-end one-on-one, it just having that as my sole income did not jive with me. And I tried it out and it just didn't. And that's okay. And some people it really does. Some people love it. That's where they thrive. And I think that's amazing. So we're all different. Definitely find your strengths and have a check-in with yourself. Just, talk to yourself for a bit.
Yeah. And I think something I know we'll talk about more today and on the Recurring Profit podcast is the importance of kind of checking in with yourself about how you feel about creating content too. So that's another thing to think about is if you don't consider yourself a content creator, if you struggle with content creation, it doesn't have to be written. It can be video. It can be audio. It doesn't have to be a certain kind of content. But if creating content is something you dread, then running a membership site may not be a great option for you unless you can outsource that, which I know I've done in Follower to Fan. There's some content creation stuff that I don't love doing. And that's why you build a team of talented people that can help you do that.
Amen to that. Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, if you are raising your hand right now and you're thinking, okay, yeah, this is me. I want to try this out at least, or I've had this in my mind. I've kind of been curious about it. I want to build it. Or I'm having a lot of ors here. There's 3 people that I'm talking to. Or you've kind of already started, but you just don't know how to actually get it up, to where it's really bringing in that revenue. This is for you. So if you're curious about it, keep listening. If you want to build it, keep listening. I think a really good starting point is if you're raising your hand right now, there's a lot of things you have to think about, right? There's all these different pieces. Just forget all those pieces, put them down. You have all the pieces in your hands, in your mind, just put them down gently. Don't put them down hard because we're going to pick them back up later, but put them down gently. And then I want you to think of one thing. This is going to be the cornerstone of your membership is the framework. So both Tyler and I have this framework that basically everything hinges off of. And from there, it all builds off of, right? So think of that center framework and what solution you're solving. So Tyler, how do you think people can do this? How do you think people can find that framework?
Okay, this is so good. So This is especially true if you are a coach, a consultant, a service provider. I learned this from my friend Julie Solomon. We were talking one time about kind of growing, scaling business stuff, and she said she heard a great little acronym, which is you need to learn how to rye yourself, which is when you are in your business and you find yourself repeating yourself, you need to record yourself and replace yourself. So I'll say it again because the first time I heard it, I was like, what the heck is she saying? So when you find yourself repeating yourself in your business, so you're saying the same thing over and over again, instead of saying that over and over again to individuals, you should record yourself and then replace yourself with that recording. So I know Haley and I both did this for our businesses, for our membership communities. I found myself at a point in running my one-on-one consulting and coaching business where I was saying the same thing over and over and over again. So I could serve people a lot better and be a lot happier if I recorded that and replaced myself with that recording. So I think that's the first thing to do, Haley, is just figure out, start taking notes. Like, what are the things you're saying over and over again? What are the tasks that you're doing for people over and over again that they could easily do for themselves or outsource to someone on their team? What are those little things that you are consistently saying or doing that would be easy to passively deliver or teach or share with someone? And that's where you can start creating a framework.
I love that. So the big thing is, one, find the problem that you're solving every day with your current clients, with how you're currently making money. Find that problem and then create a framework that's going to give a solution in a simplified, effective way. Those are the two main things you have to consider and steps to do.
Yeah. Super simple. And as you're creating your framework, I want you to think about how you can make it some kind of journey for your members. You need to figure out where they are coming into your membership community, like where are they at in their life or business? Because you don't have to, this is a big misconception in our space, is that the only way to make money is to sell to other business owners. That is so far from the truth. Okay. So figure out where people are in their life or business, and then figure out where you want them to end up, and then develop a framework that gets them from that point A to that point B. And I love this illustration, Haley. I actually send this to my members after they've joined in one of our onboarding emails, where it says you can get from point A to point B in your business by going like a crazy convoluted route where it crosses over each other and there's ups and downs, which is what Haley and I have done. Or you can take the straight line, which is what we actually teach you in our membership community. So how can you be the straight line from point A to point B for your members, so they don't have to go through that crazy route like you had to go through?
Yeah, the crazy route's not as fun.
It's not as fun. It takes too much time.
It does. It takes up time, and it's like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, it's a lot. So as you're creating your framework, think of that. How can you provide that straight line for your people? Where are they starting? Where do you want them to end up? And then what do they need to do along that process?
Yeah, I think I'm so glad you mentioned that. I think that is so important. So then you might be thinking, okay, so I have clients. I mean, I know kind of what problem to solve, but I still just don't know. Like, how do I know what problem to solve? How do I know what the framework should even be? I get that. I was there. I think the big thing with this is market research. And I cannot stress this enough. And everyone that I say this to does not take me seriously. And the reason why is because it's laziness. Honestly, hopping on Zoom calls, that is not what everyone wants to do. Now, for me, I love that. I'm like, give me all the Zoom calls. I love doing market research on Zoom calls, but that might not be everyone's favorite. I think this is so crucial. You have to set that foundation. Now, the foundation of pricing, the foundation of all, that's flexible. But the foundation of the solutions, that the problems that you're solving, that is non-negotiable. You have to have strong market research to craft that framework that's going to make them stay on a recurring basis.
So good. And I think, a lot of people, especially as they're starting a membership site, launching a course, launching some kind of online learning product, it's very easy for us to create something that we want to create, that we totally believe in, because we feel like other people need it or we believe other people need it. But it's a lot harder to actually make sure it is the right thing for the right people. And that's why this research is so important, because, so many people launch courses or membership sites that don't go anywhere, that are never profitable, because it's not the right offer for the right audience. So that market research is so important. And you and I did that differently. And I love how you were so intentional about beta testing your content, interviewing your people. I did not do that because I am kind of lazy, as Haley pointed out earlier. But what I did is I just started teasing it, and I'm fortunate enough to have a large community on social, on Instagram and elsewhere. So I just started talking about it and saying, hey, this is something I want to do. Are you interested in that? Using polling on Instagram stories or in a Facebook group, having direct message conversations about what problems they had that they needed solved. And then I actually pretty much showcased the entire process of building out Follower to Fan Society on Instagram so people could see it as it was happening. And that way they knew whether or not they were interested in it when the doors opened. So that worked out really well for me.
I love that. Yeah, I think that is so great. And that's definitely a perfect approach whenever you have a big audience too, because that does make it easier because you're going to get that feedback for sure. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so we've covered so far, you need a framework. That's your very first step. As long as you get your framework, that's going to give you that inspiration to keep going. It's like once you tap the ball and it starts moving, it's just going to roll faster. So that framework is going to be the tap on that ball to make it move. And then we're going to do market research to make sure the ball is moving the right way. And then once we get all of those ducks in a row, what's next? It's the tech. And this is what keeps people from getting a membership site up. But Tyler and I believe that you can create a membership site, the tech things, in like an hour. It does not have to be complicated.
I think that's really the easiest part. I always say that, about Instagram, like the easiest part of Instagram is posting on Instagram. The easiest part of starting a membership site is getting the tech set up. Like the hard stuff is making sure it's the right offer for the right people and you're teaching it the right way and all of that. So the tech side of things doesn't need to be something that overwhelms you because there are so many tools out there. I know, Haley, you have been using Kajabi lately. You've been loving that. That's a really easy to use tool. It's literally just plug and play. You put your content in and use it. Oh,
yeah. And if any of you guys listening want to try out Kajabi, I have a 28-day free trial link at profitplanner.co/Kajabi. And no one knows how to spell that. So it's Kajabi. So like Kaj, Abai.
I love it. Yes, you can check that out. You can do, there are other tools. Thinkific, there's Teachable, there's MemberPress if you're on WordPress. I use MemberSpace. My website is built out on Squarespace. It works really well. It's affordable. It's easy to use. But there's even sites like Patreon where you can literally set up a recurring subscription pledge for content that you're going to create. It's the easiest way to start out if you wanted to do something like that. So the tech is not an excuse. There are so many great tools that you can use, and all you're really looking for is a place that houses the information behind a paywall. That's all you need. And then if it has the built-in ability to actually bill your members, that's a huge plus. And then there's all these other features you can have, like member profiles and gamification. But here's the thing, spoiler alert, you don't need any of those things to get started.
Nope. And it's actually better if you don't.
Exactly. You need to start simply. You don't want to have too many things to overwhelm your members at the very beginning.
Oh.
It's super simple for them. So start really simple. And then if you need to grow into something else, you totally can as your business grows. But you just need, I think, Haley, and you and I will agree on that. I know you'll agree with this, is that your job as a business owner is just to start making money as quickly as possible.
Oh my gosh, yes. I think people overcomplicate things. Just make money.
Just make money. Make money. Making money is easy.
Making money does not have to be hard. And if you tell yourself that making money is hard, it will be hard. But if you tell yourself, no, making money is easy and I'm going to make money, you will.
And I think the same is true with all the tech side of things. If you're going into this thinking, oh my gosh, figuring out the tech is a huge burden. There's so many things to figure out. I don't know what to do. Yeah, it's going to be hard every step of the way. Every step of the way. There's a Henry Ford quote that I love that I've been really repeating lately is, whether you think you can or you can't, that's what it is. Yeah,
that's what it is. It's the power of your mind and what you're telling yourself. Your thoughts become your reality. So what are you thinking? Do you want that to be your reality? Like, no, if you're being negative and beating up on yourself, why would you want that?
Yeah. So go to it from the approach of like, this is easy. I'll figure out a solution. This is going to be fun. And it will be. The whole thing will be fun.
It will be. Yeah. Okay. I love that. So tech does not have to be hard. something that I would recommend if you just want to step by step is go to Kajabi. I gave you that link. You just do the free trial and then create a product within Kajabi that says membership. Create an offer and do the pricing to recurring. Create a checkout page, which is literally drag and drop, and then you change the color, and there you go. You literally have a offer and checkout page, which you can probably create in 5 minutes. And then put the content in there. It does not have to be difficult. That's what I recommend for you. For you that is thinking the tech is going to be difficult. I know that I've helped several people in the Profit Cleaner Lounge do this and get set up in Kajabi, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes. And so, yeah. Okay, moving on with that. We have the framework, the market research, the tech covered, but now Tyler and I kind of want to let you in on what this is going to look like on a month-to-month basis. And I just want to preface this with, it can look different for multiple people. So like for me, on my month-to-month basis, it looks different than Tyler's membership on his month-to-month basis because we've created the membership site that we want, right? So if you want this to take an hour a month, it can. If you want this to be your sole source of income, it can. And you could spend more time on it. You can spend however much time you want on this, but yeah. Okay, so tell me your thoughts. What does the month-to-month look like in forms of content for you?
Yeah, so it's important to remember that you need this Cornerstone Framework like we talked about. You need this solution to a problem for your members. And that can look like either a evergreen course maybe that you put inside your membership. So inside the Follower to Fan Society, we have one central framework. We're actually working this year to split that out into 4 separate courses that our members will go through that address all of their needs. I think that's another kind of like sidebar is your membership site will grow and change with your members and as your business grows and changes. So whatever that kind of cornerstone content looks like, it can either be something that is evergreen or it can be delivered on a monthly basis. So maybe you want to have some kind of overarching educational material that you release a module each month. You can totally do that. So you keep your members engaged, keep them connecting with the content, and keep them on board as a member. Or you can supplement that evergreen content with monthly resources or monthly content. So in Follower to Fan, we do this through kind of 2 types of content. The first is content that is connection and relationship oriented. So monthly hot seat calls where I coach our members live. We do those twice a month. We have monthly challenges, which are all about action and taking action in your business. But then we also have monthly educational content through masterclasses with guest experts. And then we have monthly content guides that our members can use to learn more about what's happening this month, what they need to plan for on social, consumer spending habits. And we actually give our members a few dozen posting prompts every month too that are seasonally specific. So if you're ever feeling stuck, you can just pull a prompt from that sheet and a whole editorial calendar they can fill in. So that's what we do in Follower to Fan because I want to give our members a really strong foundation with our framework, but I also want to give them resources so they can learn more each month and so they can take action each month because none of this matters if you ain't taking action in your business. So that's why we've set up our membership the way that we have. So Haley, I know you have some monthly, quarterly things that you do with your members. So what does that look like for you?
Yeah, thanks for putting on that host hat again.
Of course, I'm happy to.
So basically what this looks like for me is I release one piece of content / program a month. I say that and it's actually become 2 a month. So it's like a surprise thing because this is the thing is, so for instance, I was on Instagram stories and I posted about my business automation plan and one of the lounge members DM'd me and she goes, "Hey, are you going to share this inside the lounge?" I'm like, well, I guess I will. So I created an event and we went on Zoom the next day. And I just showed them the Google Doc that I created and walked them through it. So content like that, like I do surprise events. We do a hot seat every month, a program every month, and I have office hours every month. So I have about an hour to 2 hours where I'm just on Zoom. They can ask me any questions, show up to office hours, and we just go over whatever they want until the time is up. So that's the base content, but it actually ends up being more just because spontaneous things that I help members with become Zoom events. I'm not going to say that that's always going to happen for the future of my membership, but for now, as I'm building out this content and figuring out, okay, what do you need? I don't mind doing that. So that's been happening lately as well.
I love that. And that's such a great reminder of kind of these, I think as you and I continue to grow our communities, I feel like we're going to notice these trends with what we're doing, which I'm so excited about sharing on the Recurring Profit podcast, because we're going to bring you inside as we're doing this. But just now hearing you talk about that, I feel like we both have that focus on monthly content that is educational and that's relational. Like those are the two things consistently moving forward, because we want to, I know this is true for both of us, we want to continue to educate our members so they know what they're doing, so they feel inspired and educated as they're moving forward in their life and business. But we also want to continue to strengthen that relationship. And here's the thing, for me, it's not about necessarily having a stronger relationship with me. It's about them having a strong relationship with one another.
Yes.
So they support each other in the process. So
yes,
those feel like two great, and I saw you jotting down notes, Haley. I feel like those are two great, like, cornerstone pieces of running a successful, profitable membership site.
Yeah, I'm jotting down notes because I don't know, and I want to mention this, just kind of a sneak peek behind what Tyler and I are creating, but we plan on creating something for all of you that are wanting to build a recurring profit business model. And I want to make sure that we have this, we're creating our own framework for this in the future. So this is something that we might be working on this fall together. And so I'm jotting down notes for how to teach this in the most effective way possible. And I think something that Tyler just mentioned was perfect for that. Guys, I'm telling you, if you are any interested, like in any inkling, you have to go listen to this podcast. Make sure to follow along with us, because we're going to be announcing some really exciting things in the future that's going to help you scale this type of business model. And I don't want you to miss it. So anyways, I'm going to put that little bug in your ear. So whenever you see these things in the fall coming, you're like, ooh, I knew about this early. I was I don't know what you'd call the kind of people. Early bird, maybe?
Yes.
You're an early bird. Okay, so content, I love that. Now, management and community. For my management, I outsource a lot of that. But what does that look like on your end?
Yeah, so my partner Eric has joined my team as our director of community, which I love. So grateful for him. So he does a few things. He supports all of our members through email communication, scheduling things like hot seat calls, so I don't have to do those anymore. I just get to really show up and be present for our members, which I love so much. And then also through our Facebook group. So he manages our members only Facebook group. But I'm also in there pretty much every weekday, just for a little bit, answering questions and supporting our members, giving feedback as well. So that's what that looks like on the community and the management side of things. And then I'm really sitting in that kind of CEO role for my business now, and continuing to move it forward and grow our community and creating content for our members, which is what I love. Those are my skills. It's what I do best. So I'm grateful that's what I get to do now.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this earlier, or maybe it was in another episode, but I think those first 3 months of your membership community, you have to be super involved, like more so than you would be in month 4, because you can't scale that way. And so within your first 3 months, I know Tyler and I would definitely recommend you go all in when it comes to community. I mean, those first 100 members that you're going to have are going to set the tone for your entire membership going forward, if you want that to be the case. Unless you burn it to the ground, in that case, then never mind, you're starting over. But if you don't, then those first 100 members are basically going to set the tone. So pour your heart and soul into those first 100 members. Love them to death. Make them a loyal follower, because they're going to be able to help new members that are coming in, and that's going to help you sustain and scale a membership business that you've created.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
And just remembering that this is a great thing too, to remind your community of, is as your community grows, if that's something you want, also, you don't have to scale it if you don't want to. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
But if that's something you want, that as your community grows, you're able to support your members in new ways, and with new content, with new, maybe even higher quality content. There's a lot of opportunity for your members, as your membership grows, for them to be supported even more in their business. So it's a great thing to remind them of, and to remind yourself of as the process goes.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm glad you pointed that out. Okay, I think that covers what our month-to-month looks like, but I feel like there's so much more to month-to-month. So I want to mention this, is that it can be draining. It can be really draining if you have all the hats when it comes to a membership site, because what's required is you have to think about the onboarding process, right? You get new members in. Well, now you have to do onboarding. Well, now what if they cancel? You have to deal with cancellations. Well, okay, what is the month-to-month? What does the content look like? How do people figure the Facebook group community? Like, are you even going to have one? Okay, what does that look like in your schedule? Because that can be time consuming. And then Facebook, goodness, is like a dark hole, right? So figure out what all of that looks like. And, a lot of you hopefully have gone through the SOA method. If you're in the lounge, then what I talk about with the SOA method is split up all of that into phases and then create systems and create automation around them or outsource it. So for me, the onboarding process is completely automated and it's outsourced. So I know that every member is so welcomed and so loved, but it's not draining my energy, so I can pour my energy into the Facebook group more so than onboarding new members, right? So stuff like that, those are things to think about. Just have in the back of your mind. And it's something that new things will come up all the time. So when the new things come up, immediately think, how can I create a system around this? How can I automate this? Or should I outsource it? Ask yourself those 3 questions, and running a membership will be way less stressful.
Such a good reminder of just thinking ahead of how this thing is going to grow, how it is designed to grow, how it's intended to grow, by being really intentional about that from the beginning. I think that's really great.
I'm so glad we covered this, Tyler.
Me too. This was such a great episode, and just like so much value in such a short amount of time to help people either launch or grow their recurring profit business. And I'm excited that we get to really dig into this topic as a part of the Recurring Profit podcast, where we're going to have more of these lessons. We're going to take you inside our own memberships, what we're doing along the way, how we're growing those communities, and then talking to all different types of businesses, from membership sites to software companies to subscription boxes, who have a recurring profit business model. It's going to be so, so helpful.
Oh yeah, so helpful and so fun. And definitely we're here to serve you in a way that helps you scale. We want to see you scale the business of your dreams. And if recurring profit is something that might be in your mind that might sound great and you feel like it might be the business of your dreams, we want to help you build it, grow it, and scale it. So if that's you, come DM at either of us on Instagram. Tell us that's you. Tell us where you're at with your journey of this. And I'm so excited that you were able to come on, Tyler, share this. And if you have not followed us on iTunes at the Recurring Profit Podcast, hit the subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts. Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review. That would be so helpful.
We would love that. Yeah. And you can also check out the website recurringprofit.co. It's recurringprofit.co. And you can check out all of our episodes there and learn more about the show. And that's where we'll also start sharing more content with you in the next few months about how you can launch and grow your own recurring profit business. Super exciting.
Woohoo! Okay, before you leave, I have to ask, where can people hang out with you?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram, obviously. At Tyler J. McCall. And you can check out tylerjmccall.com. That's my website. I have a ton of great free content there all about using Instagram to grow your business. I have a free Instagram roadmap that I would love for you to get your little hands on. You're going to love that. It's so helpful. And if you want to learn more about my membership community, the Follower to Fan Society, head on over to followertofansociety.com/trial, and you can get started with a 30-day trial for $30.
Such a good deal. Guys, go into his membership site. Go look at what he's doing in there, especially if you feel like marketing and Instagram are draining your energy. If you feel like you're a little bit lost, Tyler can help you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to have y'all join us if you're interested.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Haley. Thanks for having me.